What's going on, everybody? Gary from Killer Off-Road Hobbies, your host. And today, as you can see, there's no RC here. Today, we're going to be talking about Traxxas versus, I'm going to say the RC community. Because, yeah, I'm pretty unhappy with what Traxxas is doing right now. With their lawsuits for patent infringements against companies. Basically, corporate greed at its finest. And we're going to get in depth into this because I am very passionate about this. I love the hobby of RC, and I do believe that Traxxas is trying to kill it for all of us. Probably because their sales are down, probably because their products are inferior to the new age stuff that's coming out, and their prices tend to be higher than the stuff that's sold today that is a much higher quality. Now, this isn't necessarily like a Traxxas hate video, but I am very disappointed in what they're doing. So let's kind of go over what's happening, and then I'll tell you why I'm so upset. And I'm sure a lot of you that are watching this video are upset as well. I mean, you know, this is just kind of like, you know, it just seems kind of like they're trying to squash everybody to try to be number one again somehow through forcing everybody else out. So Traxxas put up a bunch of lawsuits against HPI several years ago, and they ended up winning the court case because, you know, they do have a lot of money. That corporation has a lot of money, especially in the hobby world, and I'm sure that lot of money translates to very good attorneys. So basically, they sued HPI for patent infringements. HPI lost the case, they had to settle, and they have been an absolute ghost of a company ever since. I think last year or the year before, they showed up and they were talking about bringing up new stuff and having new management and revamping the company and, you know, just all this fairy tale stuff that has still yet to come to fruition. I mean, they came out with the Savage XL Flux, which is basically just a Savage to me. So it's not like they designed anything new or came out with anything new. It was basically the same old stuff. They just took the Savage XL chassis and put the Savage Flux electronics in it. You know, nothing special, no revamping, and they are still like hanging on by a thread of a thread of a thread that is barely still together. Extremely hard to get parts, extremely hard to find vehicles anywhere that are in stock that are HPI. They did come out with the Unicorn drift car, which I don't know. I haven't really looked a whole bunch into that, but yeah. So HPI is pretty much out of the game. They're pretty much gone, and it's due to the lawsuit with Traxxas. I'm sure there was other things, you know, like because they haven't come out with anything new, their sales were probably down and everything, but it was just basically the nail in the coffin. You know, Traxxas was like, hey, this company's struggling, let's push them out. So to narrow the field of who we have to compete with. So they basically pushed HPI out, and now they've done the same thing to Hobbico, which Hobbico is a much bigger corporation than HPI was. They own several different RC brands, and now they're bankrupt, going out of business. They already shut down their distribution center in Reno, Nevada. they did that before the lawsuit was even over. I think they knew they were going to lose. So Traxxas, they brought up like 65 or 68 different patent infringements on Hobbico, from like where they put their lights on their drones to throttle servo throttle something. I can't really, it's for nitro cars, but like, yeah, I can't even believe it. And then the main lawsuit was for the Nero chassis from Arma for the lay down shocks for the cantilever suspension. And if you look at them, they're not the same. I mean, a cantilever suspension can only be set up a couple different ways. So if you get a patent on that, it's just ridiculous. That means that nobody can have lay down shocks. Nobody can have a cantilever except for Traxxas, which is really, really stupid, because then nobody can really diversify their RCs. Like, I'm not a fan of the Nero chassis at all by any means, but I think they should be able to make something like that. It's not the same. They don't use the same parts. You know, it's, wow, it works off a push rod, and it goes off a little thing to a shock that's laying down in the chassis. Well, you copied our design. The chassis is 100% different. I don't get it. I really don't get it. And how they were able to win, now that is something I don't understand as well. I did do research into this, and Hobbico was, in trouble already, I guess. I mean, that's what everybody's saying, that they were like $100 million in debt, and they were pouring a bunch of money into failing products like Arma, failing product, Arma. That doesn't make any sense. Arma is the best ready to runs out right now, and they're the most cost effective. So to say that, like, I mean, I don't understand that. Maybe it's just the people that are on my channel and everything, but it seems like Arma is big. Like, Arma sells. Seems like everybody has Arma. Everybody has Arma. I don't understand how that could be failing, especially with all of their new revamp stuff, and the Creighton V2 and V3, and all their newer stuff. They just came out with a whole new brushed lineup and everything, and their prices are awesome compared to the competition. So I don't see how that could have been failing at all. But hey, maybe it is just corporate greed. Maybe their CEOs were paying themselves a whole bunch of money, and then they're saying it was production costs and everything. Who really knows what's going on? But what I'm saying is that Traxxas, because their sales are down, and because people are becoming hip to the fact that Traxxas really hasn't came out with anything new besides the X-Max for decades, and they're struggling. A lot of people don't like Traxxas. I mean, there is a huge amount of support for Traxxas. I mean, they have the best parts support, bar none. They do have decent entry-level RCs. They do have several decent RCs. I haven't had every one of their RCs on here. I've had a lot of their big-name RCs on here, and I guess you could call me a Traxxas hater if you want to. I don't have company bias like that. I am just upset with them for trying to take over through these ridiculous patent infringements on patents that they purchased. They didn't even design a lot of the stuff that they sued Hobbico for. They bought the patents with all that X-Max money they have laying around, and then put a team of attorneys together to start just suing people. I mean, corporate greed at its finest. I can't stand this type of stuff. Like, I almost wish that Hobbico would just move to China so they could just give Traxxas the finger, because they don't have patent infringements laws in China. So that's why these Chinese companies can just copy, like straight up 100% copy an RC design and sell it for, you know, a couple $100 less, because China doesn't have, you know, they're a communist country. You do roll the dice when you move over there of the government being able, the Chinese government being able to just take all your assets, because they can do that. They can just close down your warehouse, you know, take all your assets and leave you high and dry. But at the same time, you don't have to deal with all this patent infringement BS that's going on right now and pushing companies out. I think what Traxxas is trying to do is they're trying to consolidate the market, you know, over here on the US side, and basically just get rid of their competition so everybody has to buy their stuff. I'm not gonna say what I actually think it is, but yeah, so that's basically what I think's going on. And from the evidence that I've looked at, that is what's going on. Just corporate greed. They want more money, they want more sales, they want to push out companies that are producing better products than them and selling them for better prices. Please let me know what you guys think. I mean, I am livid about this. Livid. You know, what's going to happen if somebody doesn't come in and buy Hobbico? I mean, we're going to be out. All of that. Arma, gone. Arma's going to be gone unless a corporation just buys that portion of it, right? So Arma will be gone. You know, it's just, irritates me. It really, really, really irritates me. And they just bought Axial. How can they not be profitable when they got Axial? All those scalar people just buying all the newest stuff and just buying parts constantly. They own Axial. They own Arma. How can they not be profitable? I don't understand, dude. Like, I understand that I don't own a company and I'm not out there like messing around with millions upon millions of dollars worth of merchandise and everything. But if for some reason they were failing, like they were on the verge of bankruptcy before this whole Traxxas lawsuit thing happened, like they should have restructured and got rid of the management. Whoever was CEO, all the bigwigs of that company, if that company was failing for any reason, those people should have been fired immediately and replaced with people that could actually run a company without trying to pay themselves off. Like, because that's what happens to big corporations. Big corporations, the CEOs get greedy and they start trying to penny pinch here and there so that they themselves can get bigger bonuses and bigger paychecks. I mean, it just comes down to that. It's human nature. Human nature is greed. If you have kids or have ever seen kids, how kids are greedy, they don't want to share and everything, they have to be taught that. That is one of the human basic instincts, is this is mine, it's mine. And it tends to, you know, overflow into your adulthood. And once you get any sort of power, like when people get power, it just amplifies all those basic instincts of like wanting more and everything. So I don't, guys, I'm sorry I'm like rambling, but I am so upset about this. Like if nobody buys Hobbico and that ends up being just lost, and in the evolution of RC, I'm scared for what's going to happen to this hobby. Us as hobbyists, we need to band together. We need to send a message to Traxxas to let them know this is not okay. And we are the ones that have the power in this. Do not mistake yourself and think that there's nothing we can do about this, because we, the hobbyists, the people that spend money on these products, are the only ones that have power. If we, as a hobbyist in an RC community, band together and say, look, we're not going to tolerate you putting up these ridiculous lawsuits against companies that are better than you just because your profit margins are going down. So our resolve has to be to stay away from Traxxas. Refuse to buy anything that they produce. And when they see their revenue numbers going down, and I mean bombing going down, they will have to change, or they themselves will go out of business. That's how it works. People have been misled away from the fact that we are the ones that have the power. We have the power. We have all the say-so. Because if we say no to their products and we stop buying their products, they go out of business. It's as simple as that. That's why Walmart works. Walmart, everybody goes to Walmart. If everybody stopped going to Walmart, Walmart would close down. It's the biggest corporation in the world. Walmart is. Biggest corporation in the world. Has the most employees out of any other corporation in the world. But if people stopped going to Walmart and buying stuff, Walmart would go out of business. It's that simple. All you have to do is withhold your money and withdraw your support for anything in the world, anything consumerist. So if it's something that is based on consumption, which almost pretty much everything in the world today is based on consumption. So the consumer has all the power. But as long as we band together and send a message to Traxxas saying this will not be tolerated. Now, do I want Traxxas pushed completely out? Absolutely not. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. Traxxas has revolutionized the RC hobby several times. Several times it has. So I believe that Traxxas is one of the main pillars of the hobby and what it has blossomed into today. So I don't want Traxxas gone. I don't want them pushed out. I want to see Traxxas do well. I really do. But doing well at the expense of suing other companies out it's not acceptable. So please, everybody, just take into consideration what I'm saying and look at this unbiasedly. I guess you could say I'm looking at this at a bias point, but it's not a Traxxas hate. It's I don't agree with what Traxxas is doing to try to increase their sales again. Like I said, I think instead of trying to come up with something new and revolutionize the hobby again and all of that stuff, they just want to stick with the same old stuff they've had out for decades, maybe change something here and there and sell it as a revamped whatever. But basically, I think they're just trying to sue everybody they can to squash all their competition. Alright, everybody, sorry about this being a long video. Those of you that stuck it out, thank you so much. I'm very passionate about this. This is something I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be in the RC hobby for the rest of my life. I want to keep producing videos for you guys and everything, and I don't want to see this hobby, this community take a turn for the worse because of corporate greed. All right, everybody, that's going to be the end of this video. Please give it the thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Hey, let me know what you think in the comments. Write me a book if you want to. Just let me know how you guys feel about this and what you think should be done, because I just think this should not be tolerated by us. I think we should literally send a message to Traxxas saying, hey, look, if you don't stop this, we're just not gonna we're not gonna deal with you anymore. You're just gonna dissolve into the wind. All right, everybody. I'm Gary from K.O.R.H Hobbies. Get out there, get an RC, go have some fun. Check out the description, get in on the raffles, all that stuff. Support the channel. Let me know what you think. All right, until the next video. Peace. Bye.